Oh, today we're going to make this thing totally bare. It's not going to have any clothes at all on it. We're going to take these two IF cans off. And this should be a fairly short video. I'm sure some of you are going to be glad to hear that and see that. And then we'll get rid of everything except for this crazy wire. I haven't quite figured out what to do with that yet. I'll probably just cut it, you know. Of course, by now, I hope all of you have understood that the only thing you need to do, to be able to do, in order to be a vintage radio repair and restoration guy, is all you need is a pair of dikes. You know how to use them. You just start chopping away. Anybody can do that. Which brings me to the next segment here. Before we actually remove these cans, and of course go down underneath and start whacking those wires. Maybe I'll change my YouTube handle to Wire Whacker. Alright, a lot of folks have asked me in private messages, and even people I work with that watch my videos, they say, you know, are you going to remember where all those wires go that you've been cutting? I mean, you know, how can you possibly remember all that stuff? Well, I don't need to remember it. I don't need to remember any of it. Because I have a schematic. That's all I need. Someone could turn this chassis up right now and cut every single wire out of the bottom there. Just take these dikes and just cut and remove every single wire. And using my schematic and using the parts location just to make sure the connections are to the right place, using those two items, I could rewire that entire chassis. That's all I need is a schematic. You know, when I first started out in this stuff, I couldn't read any of this stuff. I couldn't follow anything on a schematic. I said, what is this mess here? Where does this go? What is this? You know, I was so confused all the time. I just couldn't figure it out. So I decided that, you know, I need to resolve this. If I'm going to be in this hobby, I have got to learn how to follow a schematic. So I began to sort of specialize in ratty radios. Ratty radios. You know, radios that someone had gotten a hold of and totally muffed up over the years. Maybe 4 or 5 people, maybe 10, 20, I don't know. Missing parts, rusty chassis, nothing worked. And that forced me, absolutely forced me, to start using and learning about schematics and the wiring and what goes where. And as you do it, you know, radio after radio after radio, it gets easier and easier and easier. And now, I'm not concerned about a schematic at all. I don't care how big it is. It doesn't intimidate me at all. Because there's a wire that goes from point A to point B. And all you have to do is find those 2 points. I can't make it any simpler. Schematics are a piece of cake. They're so easy. I think when it comes time to put this radio together, I think I'm going to have wifey blindfold me and tie both hands behind my back. I might put this together with the toes on my left foot only. I don't know. I may change my mind about that, but right now it sounds like a pretty cool idea. Alright. It's easy. You got a schematic, you can fix anything in any radio. I don't care what it is, as long as the schematic is correct. Even if the stuff has been messed around by someone else, moved, missing parts, things have been added, it does not matter. Have a lot of confidence in yourself. You want to stay in the hobby, you want to be fairly good at this stuff, it just takes practice. Practice, practice. Chop, chop. Alright, let's start with T4 over here. Now T4, you look on the schematic, T4 only has 3 wires coming out of it. A brown one, a white one, and a green one. The green goes over to pin 2 on the 2A7. The white wire comes down and connects to one side of R4. And this capacitor right here, it's a blue wire, comes into the junction. And then the brown wire comes up and connects between this capacitor and this end of R5. Now I'll let you see that a little larger. There it is, right there. There's the brown wire that goes up, connects between the capacitor and one end of R5. Here's the wire that comes out of the top and goes over and connects to the grid cap. See that big blob of black right there? That's the grid cap. Let me show you that. This is the wire right here. it goes to the grid cap on the 58 tube. And the 58 tube is this one right here, I believe. Okay? That one right there. Brown wire goes up there. The black wire comes out of the top, goes to the grid cap. Over here, the green wire, let me slew this baby over. The green wire comes over and goes to pin 2 on the 2A7. And the white wire comes out of the bottom. Now remember, your can is the dotted lines. Everything inside those dotted lines is inside the can. Now, let's go down a little further and find out where that white wire comes out of the bottom of the can and goes down and connects between R4 and the blue wire going over to this capacitor. Okay? That's all there is to it. There's 3 wires coming out of that, and I'm fixing to cut them and remove that can. Alright, there's the hole at the bottom of T4 right there. And here's the green wire. Here's the brown wire. And right there's the white wire. Right there. Now this other wire looks like it's coming out of there, but it's not. It's not anywhere near that hole. White, green, brown. That's it. Here we go. White, green, brown. Man, I'm a technician. Alright, that nut right there is what holds that can to the top of the chassis. Let's see if we can get that nut all the way off. I had loosened it up a little bit and it was getting a little stubborn. Ah, she's coming off. She's coming off. Let's see. Come on, baby. Come on. She's still wanting to be a little stubborn. There it is. Now there's also a washer on it right there. And that's it. Okay. Let's take it off from the top and see what we got. I'm kind of anxious and curious to see this thing. Well, there it is. Well, guess what? I'm going to have to figure a way to get the top off of that thing. It looks like someone else already tried to get the top off it. I don't think they were successful. I have no idea how I'm going to do that. This ought to be interesting. The next can and last item on top of the chassis, T5, is this dotted line right here. Now there's a lot of stuff inside that T5. So actually we've got 6 wires. We've got a black one, green, white, brown, blue, and yellow. The blue and the yellow run over and connect to pin 3 and 4 of the 2A6. Let's take a look at that. The yellow wire and the blue wire run over and connect to pin 3 and 4 on the 2A6, the 2 diodes. Not a problem there. We have a black wire that runs outside the can. Again, you know, everything inside the dotted lines is inside, which means these 2 resistors are inside that can. This is a 2 meg and a half meg. I've got to get in that can and check those resistors out and measure them. Black wire runs over to R5, one side of R5. The green wire comes out and runs to the plate of the 58 tube. And there's, let me see, let's go to the bottom, see what we got down there. Yeah, we have a brown wire. Comes out of the bottom here, it says brown, comes out and runs into a black wire that goes into the one side of the volume control. Piece of cake, piece of cake. Now this white wire runs all the way down, all the way across the radio and back up the other side to the pin 3 on the 2A5, which is the screen grid. Let me get the schematic and then I'll show you that one a little better. It's a smaller schematic, but you should be able to make it out. The white wire comes out here, runs all the way down, all the way across, and all the way up to pin 3 on this tube right here, the 2A5, which is the screen grid. That covers all 6 wires. The black, green, white, brown, blue, and yellow. Guess you know what that means, don't you? Yeah, it means chop chop time. Again, there's the hole coming through the chassis for T5. Now I'm looking for a this list of wires right here. Let's see what we've got. I've got a brown, a yellow, a blue, green, and black. Brown, yellow, blue, green, and black. All I gotta do is find the white wire now. Where's the white wire? And there it is right there. See? Right there it is. Got the little stripe on it where I cleaned it off earlier. That takes care of all the wires coming out of that can. They're all accounted for. Here we go. My favorite part. Alright, the nut and washer have been removed. And that's what we've got on the bottom of that. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to opening these babies up. That's a pretty heavy little thing. It's not light, you know. Well, that's it, folks. That's it for tonight. And remember, your tip of the day. If you really want to learn how to read schematics, or follow schematics, basically. There's a difference between reading and following now. A technician can read that schematic. He knows what every item is there for. You know, we all know what they are. We know what a resistor is, capacitor, but he knows why they're there. And what kind of voltage should be at this point, what kind of voltage should be at this point, and that point, and that point. That's the difference between reading and following. I'm just a hacker. I follow. Anybody can follow a line from point A to point B. You want to learn how to do this stuff? This is the kind of radio you need to buy and practice on. Practice, practice, practice. Until next time. Let me see, what are we going to do next time? Oh yeah, you're going to like next time. Don't miss it. This is John.